We have our quirkiness on things. And Hewitt, I don't know what he does. His kids are dirty. My kids are clean. Cannons are messy, kind of, So.
All right, let's see. Other than, okay, I get my favorite topic, hygiene.
Woo-hoo.
Your students are about to go through puberty.
Lucky
and
you.
I can smell it. They can't smell it. They don't know it. They don't know it. Because I brought it up in the class, and several of my most pungent ones said, it's not me, and I went, okay, so I'll talk to your parents. So, and I've told them this already, they need to have fresh clothes every day, not the same socks. I have 2 grown sons, I get this. They'll tell you they're clean. You do the checking. Clean undergarments, clean socks. And if your family is into it, we would appreciate a shower every day and some kind of deodorant or antiperspirant if culturally that's something you do, because not everybody does, and I get it. But we do appreciate it because we sit very close to each other, and that is one of the reasons my classroom is so cold. So if you have a child and it's 110 degrees, send them with a sweater. It is that cold in my classroom.
And mine.
I'm not joking. We keep it very cold.
Jumping on cannons. I've told my kids to bring, we do a personal hygiene box. So deodorant, we put their name on it, and after PE they put their deodorant on. Girls can use a body spray, no perfume, no cologne, because then we all get headaches. But we smell the best in the class, because we use our personal hygiene after PE.
And I have asthma and don't want to set it off
So
every day
we
with that
smell
spray.
really good. But they don't go to Canon, so it's good, and we use the wipes. So we're the clean, nice-smelling class. So yeah.
So other than that, PE has changed this year to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Last year it was twice a week for 60 minutes. This year it's 3 times a week for 40 minutes. The math works out to be the same. They dismiss from my class from PE directly home. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I don't see them the last 40 minutes. Coach Forbes will dismiss them. Mrs. Pimenta, Mr. Hewitt's kids go right after lunch. So there's that. So if they want to bring a towel for their comfort or a yoga mat, hat, water bottle, all of that is allowed at PE time. So, and in my classroom, they can drink water all day because I have to drink water all day. So.
Curriculum or question?
Yeah, curriculum. Let's talk about the actual school.
Math journal, you should have seen, hopefully. If you haven't seen, you will be seeing this, okay? This is the second year we've used Envision. Overall, we like it. It's not bad. Again, there are some stuff, it does a better job of showing you as a parent how to do stuff. But the Common Core part of it, there have been times where we still pause and go, what? So if you're not understanding, that's where we say to you, please send your child back to us. Never a problem. Because, yeah, you know how to multiply and you know how to do the basics, but now they want you to do these other weird things to it. So let us do that so you don't fight with your child. I've been there. It's not worth it. Send them to the teacher because you're going to be with them the rest of their lives. We only have them for 9 months. So they can be mad at us and be annoyed.
Frustrated with us.
Okay, that's not a problem. So this is the math you should see. You probably won't see this. My class, sometimes we all do a story from here. We'll do stuff from this book. But this is one of our books that we use for language arts. We also have what we call an RCC book. It's did they bring it? Mrs. Cannon's holding it up there. You might see that come home. It's really good for when the kids are tested. Similar things. It's got short little articles, and then we really get into it and having them debrief stuff.
We do a lot on informational text. So at this point, we're shifting from fiction, which you really learn K through 3, K through 4, towards more informational text, which you're going to be seeing 6 through 12, probably 60, 70% of the time, as opposed to 30, 40% for fiction. So we're making that shift.
You want to talk about mystery science?
Yeah, we have these old war horses of science and social studies curriculum, literally probably like 15 years old. So we do a lot of supplementing. Yeah, the science is probably about that old too. But the district has purchased some technological programs to supplement that with, so we're doing a lot of new fun things with science and history.
Social studies, I do Mr. Hewitt, classes, social studies. We all do states. I'm sure you guys remember 5th grade. You do a state, and their stuff. So you will see that. Your child will hopefully talk to you about their state. Our 2 classes have picked their states.
No, we don't pick till like April.
Okay, so she hasn't done that. So
We're not even colonies yet. How can we be states?
Because we can multitask.
Okay.
So we smell good and we multitask.
Okay. That's
So
your story.
I'm sticking with it too. You probably won't see this that often either. Again, it's old. Will they see the science? Maybe?
Yeah, they'll see that. They need it to study for, I mean, it's the basic information.
Okay.
My class, you'll see the history book. It's heavy. I'm sorry.
It is heavy, so.
Yeah. There was something else.
What you're thinking. Tests, we all usually give the kids a week's notice on a test. So if they're having a science test, we'll let them know for a week in advance so they can start
And
preparing.
that information's always on the blog.
And we blog it.
Really, for the content matter, science and history, if you just study maybe 5 minutes a day in each one, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot better than spending 4 hours the night before panicked and you're all worried and you're trying to help your child study and you're tired from work and the whole nightmare scenario.
So, can I talk about, don't laugh at me. Okay, in my class, a test is worth 3 grades of my grade book. So a chapter test is 3 grades. A quiz is just 1 grade. So like with science, every lesson has a quiz. That's 1 grade, but the chapter test is worth 3. So it helps the kids kind of get used to that, because I know in middle school and high school they weight certain assignments a lot more. My projects for history and science are all worth a test grade, so that's 3 grades at least. Some of them are worth more. And for math, for tests, which again are heavily weighted, they get a week's notice. But for quizzes, pop, here you go. You better be studying all the time. So if any of your students say, I don't have any homework, they don't understand that they're supposed to be studying every night. Every subject, 5 to 10 minutes, if they don't have actually some kind of thing to be completing.
And some kids rush through their work too, so you want to go over it with them.
They are allowed to bring home all of their books. That's been a popular lie in the past years. But they didn't tell me I could bring it home. Yes, they can all bring them home. I've told all my students, any book they want, any book your parents want to see. Some parents want to see the work whether it's completed or not. So some kids play the game, I finished it, and really they didn't. So if you want to start setting up the program that they bring home the book every day and they're not complying, let me know and we'll have a sit down with them, you and I and your lovely child, and we'll let them know that your parent really is interested and wants to see your work completed. I grade my math. The quick grade I do is a Y for yes, they got it, and an NY for they don't got it yet, not yet. A not yet means I want them to be looking at what's going on this paper so that they can correct their mistakes. I don't record those. That's just information for you as a parent. Anything I grade, I'm going to ask for a signature from you so that I know that you know what's going on at school. I don't want report cards to be a surprise. That's why we send things home for a signature. You should know before the report card comes about how they're doing in any given subject.
We have probably 7 minutes or so for questions. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir. That's
Yes.
on a weekly basis, yes.
Every Thursday, you should
Yeah.
see.
And sometimes you can see nothing on it, but just sign it anyway, and it's our accountability system. If there's ever any kind of issue in class and your child tells you something and you hear something, feel free, email us, call us, we'll talk to you about whatever happens. Sometimes there's a disconnect in communication, so we're easy about that. Yeah.
Just really quick, what are kind of the big things they'll be learning in math this year? What are kind of the big goals for them in math?
Well, we continue. Everyone's favorite. They have to know their multiplication facts. 1. If they don't, that's already a problem.
It should be
Because
automatic. No.
It should be automatic because we go into fractions. Addition of fractions, same denominator, different denominators. Subtraction, multiplication.
Good evening, teachers and parents. It is 6:40. That means there are 5 more minutes. So upper grade teachers, if you're not done yet, please wrap up your very important information. And kindergarten through second grade classes will open in about 5 minutes. Parents, if you are on your way out and have not yet filled out your lunch application, the library is open and the computers are ready with Mrs. Dow to help anybody do any of the online forms that you would like to do. So please stop by the library on your way out. Upper grades, 5 more minutes, and we will open the doors for primary very soon. Thank you.
And then we'll do division of fractions too. We do division, which is everyone's favorite. We do look at geometry.
Multiplication.
Decimals are huge too. Having been a 6th grade teacher, I love to expose them to fractions, decimals, and percentages and the relationships with how they go back and forth between each other. We'll show them ratios, different things like that. Just exposing them in advance. But the biggest thing is really getting fractions and decimals, multiplication, addition.
Which you can't do if you're multiplying isn't good. So the sequencing is really rather good in these books.
Yeah. So, and then I'm just going to finish with this. So with history, it's U.S. history. That's why I said we're not even colonies yet. How can we be states? So it's because it's colonial time, Declaration of Independence, Constitution. My kids have already signed our Constitution and we're into it. So that's exciting. And then for science, they pick and choose. Like we've already started, does the earth spin or does the sun spin? We go into, I go a lot deeper than the requirement because I have a science background in that both my parents are scientists and they'd kill me if I watered it down for them. And but we go into like molecules, but the 5th grade content is heavy on chemical reaction and environmental factors related to water, especially because we're in California. So that's science.
Are you going to rely on iReading online for their homework this year?
Thank you.
Oh, as a requirement?
Yes. Yes. The district has spent a lot of money on the iReady. And we have seen as teachers the advantage of having the kids do it. 2 years ago, they had to do 2 lessons in language arts, 2 lessons in math a week for us was a requirement. And we watched those kids' scores really pop. Last year, we only required 1 in each, and they went up, but not like what we would expect. We're still only going to do 1. It's geared to what your child can do. So there are some that theirs are lower than others, and that's great, and they have to do it. Middle school teachers, I know some of them require it too. So we're just continuing with it.
Well, if they're on level.
So if you're, for us, what we're doing this year is we're using it as an intervention tool. I have some students that tested at like 1st grade level for certain math concepts. I don't have time to teach 1st grade in depth, but iReady will take them back to those concepts that somehow got skipped, and they'll have those lessons. And if your child says it's too easy, well then you can tell them that maybe they should take the testing time a little bit more seriously, because the program placed them because those are questions that they got incorrect on the test. And we've already done the testing for iReady this year. There's only a few kids that are not quite done, but everybody's taken it. So my class, I'll be sending home those results very soon, and you'll see where they tested on the different areas of that. But yes, so if they tested, let's say they tested at 5th grade level in reading and at 1st grade level in math, they don't have to do a reading lesson, but they do have to do a math lesson. If they're low in both, they have to do 1 in each.
What if they got 5th grade?
If they got in 5th grade level, you don't have to do it. But it tests beginning, middle, and end of 5th grade. So we will test again in the middle of the year. And if your child tests at the beginning of 5th grade, then they have to start doing lessons at that point.
Because we should be at the
They are allowed to do them anytime they want.
It's a pretty accurate test too, as far as going with the national standards. It's pretty well done. Yeah.
Do the kids rotate every trimester? Because I'm not sure how that works.
Right, it depends.
Depends on the child.
We have to see how they're doing with us. They may stay, they may go. We sort of make that ultimate decision based on how they're performing. Maybe one class is going too slow for them, we'll move them. Maybe one teacher's too scary for them and they're not learning, so we'll move them. Or whatever. There's all kinds of variables.
So it's not divided into like, oh, this group is a little more accelerated.
Not even, no. We do have one group that is going at a little bit of a slower pace, learning the same exact standards, and we try to keep that group small.
Yeah, and that's why you should see the math journal, and then I'll have in this, kind of how to bring it home.
The time is now 6:45, which means thank you, upper grade parents, for joining us tonight.
Okay,
We
real
hope you
fast.
have a great evening. The teachers need to get on their way, and all of our kindergarten and 2nd grade teachers, please open your doors and begin your presentation.
Real
Thanks
fast.
for coming.
For social studies, if you have no problem, please expose your child to the musical Hamilton. It's very much in line with what we do. There is a couple potty words in it, so you as parents need to expose them first. because it's a fantastic thing. Thank you. Have a great evening.